Yo fam, what's up? This your boy Pastor Pete. And so my opening thought this morning is this. You were created to make a difference. Yeah, there's something that draws us into stories of people who overcome odds and even great failure to defy all expectations, and they still succeed. And we like the idea of ordinary people doing the extraordinary. And maybe it's perhaps because that's how we see ourselves, as ordinary people who are longing to make a real difference in this world. And so in the Bible, in the story of Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 4, there's a story of a man named Abram. And Abram is hearing from God, and God tells Abram to go. And when he tells him to go, he says, I want you to go, and I want you to go to the place where I'm going to show you. And he tells him three things. One, I want you to leave your land, leave your relatives, and then leave your father's house. Now that's scary. And Abram does not disobey God. Abram actually goes. He obeys God. He trusts God in faith, and he leaves his familiar place, his place of comfort. But most of the times when we hear from God, we are paralyzed by fear. Fear will keep us from moving. Fear will keep us from going. So we never end up going to the place where God is showing us, because we are paralyzed by fear. But until we can overcome that fear, we'll never get to the place where God wants us to be. And the reason why we're afraid is because we don't understand that God wants to bless us to be a blessing to others. You see, God blessed Abram not just for himself, but so that he can in turn be a blessing to the whole world. And see, God wants to use you to impact the world. Yes, your gifts, your talents that God has given you, that God has blessed you with. It's not so that you can be rich and famous, but because you are an influencer and you have the ability to influence others. God says that's power. So my closing thought is this. God will accomplish through you what he promised you only if you're able to trust him by faith. Don't be afraid to go. Don't be afraid to leave your place of comfort. Trust God at his word. Be obedient to his word and go where he's calling you. All right, that's it for the 2-minute motivation. Peace.